Okay, so here we go. For those of you I don't know, hello, my name is Kendra. I feel somewhat qualified to teach this class. I have 5 kids. Our oldest is 8. And then we have, it's going to take me a minute, we have an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, a brand new 3-year-old. She just turned 3 yesterday, and then a 15-month-old. So we have used oils for anything and everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all the things that could happen, have happened. So I really feel like using oils with kids is probably my number one favorite use with oils, and just my number one like passion, because it has changed our life so dramatically, just like in just so many different ways. So I'm going to share that with you tonight. I'm going to share kind of the mindset shift that I had when we started using oils with kids. And just, we're going to talk about sleep. We're going to talk about emotions. We're going to talk about immune system and mom hacks, which of course, who doesn't want a mom hack, right? If you guys have a different topic that you want me to touch on, please shout it out in the chat, because if I don't know about it, then I will Google it afterwards. But if I do know about it, I would love to share it with you guys, because everybody has different needs. So we're going to talk about sleep, emotions, immune, and mom hacks. But first, we're going to start with a quote, because it's one of my very favorite quotes. Somebody may or may not intrude at some point. I hear little footprints. Okay, so my favorite quote in terms of like using oils and this with children is, "My mother didn't tell me how to live. She lived and let me watch." You guys, this is so important to think about when you are making this switch, or you are just even like dabbling in oils, or maybe you're just diffusing to make your house smell good. It's really important to understand that kids are parrots. They are going to do what you do. They're going to say what you say. They're going to act how you act. And when our kids are watching us, they're watching what we're cleaning with. They're watching what we're putting on our bodies. They're watching, all sorts of different things that we're doing and using. And it becomes very clear very quickly that what you buy and what you use is probably what your kids are going to also do. I don't know about you guys, but when I became a mom at first, I bought the same cleaner that my mom bought. I bought the same, soap and all the things, because that was just what I did. And we have to understand that we're the gatekeepers of our homes. We are the people that we buy the products. We choose what to put on our children. We are wandering those aisles. We're reading the ingredients. We're buying the food. We're all of those things. And that is a serious job. And when we know better, we can do better. When we have a sense of awareness about like what is going in our bodies and what's in our homes and what are we breathing in, it is going to be so much better down the road. And you are creating a legacy of wellness. You are creating a future of like making smarter choices, avoiding chemicals when you can, like all of those things that your children will replicate. They will move forward in that lifestyle. I really believe that. But that was not how my journey started. I'll be straight up honest. I'm going to just tell you guys. Before I started using oils, my mom had like used oils like once or twice. And I remember her giving me a bottle of oil, and I was like, thanks, but no thanks. I don't need this. And just like, it was like a very random exchange. And it was after our 3rd child was born, and I was 39 weeks pregnant. Not like, just not thriving in motherhood. 3 is a real doozy, let me tell you. If you have had any more than 3 children, you've survived a lot, because 3 plus is you'll never survive again. Really, truly. I remember feeling like, man, my head is never going to be above water. Like, I'm never going to sleep. Somebody's always sick. We're just like, I sort of was just desperate for help. But not really desperate enough to like make any big changes in our life. And I didn't really know what those changes would be, because we were just not like a crunchy family. I liked the smell of like Johnson & Johnson's, and I just, liked my Mrs. Meyer's counter spray and lit my candles. And that was it. Like, it wasn't a conscious choice to be like, I love toxic ingredients. Like it was just like, this is just what we did. So, fast forward 39 weeks pregnant, and we got hand, foot, and mouth disease in our house, and the three kids did. And or the two older had it. And then, so I had a friend reach out to me like, hey, you should try oils. Cause I was like, we can't bring a baby home to this. Some of you guys have probably heard this story. And this friend had suggested getting some oils. And I was like, okay, I'll literally do anything. You know, you're delirious, 39 weeks pregnant, like put a fork in me. And so yeah, after 2, it all goes downhill. So basically I was like, okay, so I ordered the starter kit, and we managed to like control and harness this hand, foot, and mouth. And our third child did not get it. And, it was gone before the baby came and so on. And I remember thinking like, oh, that was like, what a fluke, like so random, you know, like I didn't really, I maybe the oils contributed, but like, I was like, yeah, whatever. And like kind of moved on. I had a starter kit at this point though, and just didn't really think too much about it. And then Winnie, our 3-year-old at the time, was not sleeping. She was like the worst. She'd wake up in the middle of the night and be like, my sock fell off. You weren't even wearing socks. What happened? And I was desperate for sleep. And I was like, I will try anything. And so I like whipped out this bottle of Sleepy Eyes that I had ordered. And Sleepy Eyes is an oil from Young Living that's like a Kid Sense. It's part of the Kid Sense line. So it's like safe for kids and like designed to like help them sleep. And I literally was like, let's just put like 27 drops of this in a diffuser and see what happens. And you guys, I kid you not, from like the first night and forever after that, like she started sleeping through the night and I was shook. I was like, oh my word, something's working. Like, this is crazy. And so I like slowly started implementing these things in my life. And, I can tell you now that I'm on the other side of this like transformation and this like change, that I wish I would have started so much sooner, but B, have never felt more empowered as a parent. I feel like there's really something that's nobody tells you until you become a parent, that it's really like when you feel like you have no control or you feel like you have no solution, it's really scary. There was a lot of anxiety that went into that for me. And I felt like out of control, like, oh, you have a stomach ache. Okay. I guess I'll get a bowl for you to puke in. Like, I don't even like, and then I would get anxious and like it would be this whole cycle. And now we're on the side of like, oh, you have a stomach ache. Let me get some tummy jies for you. Let's put some peppermint in the diffuser. Like, these are not this is not like crazy stuff. Like, it's just like very simple steps that you can take, that it's like a first line of defense. And it really creates such a sense of empowerment for myself, but also for the kids. Like, our 8-year-old will come out and ask for oils. He'll say like, hey, I really feel like I need this, or my stomach hurts, or I'm having growing pains. Can you put some of that oil on my legs? Like, so many different things. And your kids will learn to become empowered and to ask for these things because they feel like they have a sense of control over, you know, whether it's emotions or physical pain or whatever it might be. So basically what the mindset that we come from now, is that we try to be proactive versus reactive with our health. So we try to support our bodies, support the kids' bodies, and, you know, put out as much like clean products into our home that we can. It's to be proactive about our health. So it's not like we are waiting until our battery is all the way empty. We're at a full battery and we're still being proactive about our wellness. We're using our thieves roller. We'll talk about this in a minute, but we're putting, you know, oils on to keep our immune systems up. We are diffusing oils that are like giving us good things in our body, not like things like candles that can be toxic and can, you know, slow us down and those kinds of things. It's really like a mindset shift. And when you start to invest in wellness instead of illness, it becomes very clear, like very easy to be like, oh, okay, well, I will spend as much as I need, because if I can have all of these products at my fingertips, it's going to save us from a lot. It's going to save us from whether it's a doctor's appointment or just like, you know, anxiety or stress or feeling overwhelmed or whatever. It's going to just be a really positive, like just a positive environment, a positive feeling. So we are going to talk about 4 different categories that I feel like are really, really, like can be really transformative in your home and are really easy ways to implement oils. Okay. So the first one is sleep. I think, nobody like does well when they are not sleeping, whether it's the kids or the parents. maybe the pets, I don't know, whatever it might be. We all need sleep. Okay. And this is one of those things where you're like, okay, are we gonna cry it out? Are we gonna swaddle? Are we gonna co-sleep? Are we just gonna be up all night nursing a baby? Been there, done that. What are we gonna do? And this is where oils gives you a little bit of like, just, okay, I have something here, I can do something. So there's different ways to use oils for kids and for everybody in general, but especially kids. You can diffuse oils with kids. We'll talk about like dilution and stuff in a second, but you can diffuse oils, you can roll oils on. I personally never like have my kids ingest oils. There are oils that are safe to ingest, but just with kids and stuff, my kids would be like, no thanks. Anyways, but we just don't have our kids ingest oils in general. So if you're diffusing oils in a kid's bedroom, so for sleep, for example, we would diffuse Sleepy Eyes, which looks like this. These are all the kids' oils. We would diffuse Sleepy Eyes, looks just like that. And I would take, put, all the kids have diffusers in the room, and we put five to 7 drops probably in a diffuser. If you are like, if you have a little tiny one, or if you've never used oils or whatever, the rule of thumb is to start slow, to start like small, and then you can always, up the ante essentially. And so if you've like never diffused in your kid's room and you're like, oh my gosh, am I going to like, I don't know, put my kid out of like totally to sleep or whatever, maybe that's your goal. Start with a couple drops and see how it goes. See how, if there's like, if they're sleepy, or if you feel like it's made a difference, or if you can smell it really strongly. You can always leave the door open. It's a comfort level thing. So you will eventually, this will be second nature, and you will eventually get to a place where you're like literally like, here, Memphis, here, just take this. This is a great teether. Memphis is our baby. But you have to get to that place at your own time. And so start small with diffusing. So lavender is a really great oil to diffuse. Some kids have an adverse reaction to lavender. There's a chemical component in it that can actually, it's sort of like an ADD thing. Like it can actually have the opposite effect on some kids. So if that's the case, just pay attention. And there's so many different oils that you can use in that place. But I always think that lavender is a great place to start, because for most people, lavender helps your body. It ups the melatonin production in your body. So it's a good place to start. Sleepy Eyes has lavender in it. It has a whole bunch of different oils blended together, basically. One of my favorite combinations is a sleep roller. So hold on, let me grab a roller. 1 second. Don't worry, I'm not going far, you guys. None of these have lids. 1 second. Okay. Ironically, I went to grab this roller, which says sexy time. So you've clearly already been there if you have kids. So we'll move past that. That's a whole nother class. But if you didn't know, there are oils for that. There's a reason the oil Goldenrod is always sold out from Young Living, you guys. Always. It's always sold out. Okay. I know, the more you know, right? Okay, so this is not a sleep roller, but I just want to show you guys what a roller looks like if you've never made a roller. These are just from Amazon, like glass bottles, and you can mix oils together in here. And so basically, one of my favorite combinations for sleep with kids is Roman chamomile, cedarwood, lavender, and orange. Again, if you don't feel like you have results with lavender, just take lavender out. This is not rocket science, and there's no you can't really mess up oils too much. Aside from something we'll talk about, which is called hot oils. Like you don't want to burn your kids with oils. There are some oils that feel hot, literally to the touch on their skin. But Roman chamomile, cedarwood, lavender, and orange is one of our favorite blends. Roman chamomile is actually like a hypnotic oil. And so it will really it does a doozy on sleep. I'm just going to tell you. And then the other way, so you roll that on their wrists. Nora, who just turned 3, she'll take a sleepy roller. They all have one in their room, and they roll it on their wrists, rub it together, take some deep breaths like that. And it's just this is a Christmas roller. This smells amazing. It is just a great way for them to kind of take some deep breaths and be like, it's bedtime. And if you use the same roller every single night, they will create a neural pathway in their brain that basically, like, when they smell that, their body will signal like, hey, it's bedtime, you're sleepy, like we're tired, we're laying down. And the consistency on that will blow your mind. Like, your kids will smell that and they will be like, oh, it's bedtime. Because their brain, your nose works faster than your brain, essentially, your sense of smell. And so they're going to smell that and their body is going to signal it's sleep before their brain can even recognize, like, wait, mom, it's like 2 p.m. What's going on? Why do you have a glass of wine? No kidding. That's jokes. But rolling on is amazing for sleep. So let's talk about diluting for a second. There are lots of different kind of recipes out there that you have to just, again, start small with the drops. You always want to dilute oils when you're putting them on kids. And when I say dilute oils, you just take like a carrier oil. So coconut oil, jojoba oil, grapeseed oil. Young Living has a carrier oil called V6. And so basically this has probably like 5 or 10 drops of actual essential oil in it. And the rest is filled with fractionated coconut oil. Fractionated just means like it stays liquid. It doesn't harden. And that's all available on Amazon. You can get all that stuff. It's super inexpensive. If you ever put oil on the kids, or if they actually get a hold of an oil bottle and like they put it on their skin and it might feel like hot or anything like that, you always dilute oil with oil, right? This is like basic science. So a lot of people will grab a washcloth with water on it or like splash water on their skin or whatever. That's going to make it worse. That will spread the oil. And so we always have a bottle of coconut oil under the sink that I always have just like as a quick access if somebody gets a hold of, a bottle of peppermint or whatever, and I will spray it on their skin and it will dilute the oil right away. So that's why we dilute oils. With kids, again, like babies, I would probably do a couple drops in a roller. For our 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds, I would probably do like 5, maybe 5-ish, 5 to 7 drops, and then you can go up from there. But again, it all boils down to like what you're comfortable with. The wrists is a good place to roll oils on, the spine, the bottoms of your feet. You hear a lot of people rolling oils on, especially for kids, because that is where you have the biggest pores, but it's also like a pretty durable skin. And so you don't have to worry about like that burning them or, any sort of reaction or anything like that. So like, for example, with Nora, who just turned 3, if I take a Thieves roller and it has 10 drops of Thieves in it and the rest is coconut oil and roll it up her back, she will have like a little red line from where the Thieves is. But if I have it 5 drops, she won't have a red line. It's not going to, that part doesn't hurt her necessarily. It's just more of like her skin is saying like, well, this is intense for my, like fragile skin. Whereas I could put a Thieves roller on, I could put straight Thieves on and would have no reaction. So you just have to kind of go back and forth and see what your comfort level is. Okay, you guys, I'm going to answer questions at the end just so that we can stay on track. The other one last thing with sleep that I think is so powerful. So Bellamy, who is our 6-year-old, she went through like a spurt where she had really bad dreams, and she got to a place where she was afraid to go to sleep at night because she was worried about having a nightmare. And so I made her a roller, and it had Peace and Calming and orange in it. Citrus oils always like promote feelings of happiness and like, joy basically. And so I just put orange and Peace and Calming in it, and she would roll it on before bed. And like we called it her bad dreams roller. Like it would get rid of the bad dreams. But you can also diffuse that combo. There's also an oil called Dream Catcher that's really great for like night terrors, bad dreams, nightmares, all that kind of stuff. And we diffused that for a really long time. But again, just that like conscious action of like, okay, this is going to help me from having bad dreams. And, there is so much, like there's the mental side of oils, the emotional side of oils there's a lot there as well. There's so much science behind it, but there's also like these neural pathways in our brain that we can create that for kids especially are really, really powerful. Okay, so I'll answer these questions before we move on to the next category. So there was at one point that's called the Little Oilers. There was a little kit that you could buy with all the kids' oils in it. I would think that they will bring it back. Hopefully, they usually do like a lot of kids stuff come like back to school, the school that nobody's going back to. But I'm hoping they will bring this back because it's an awesome little kit. The Kid Sense oils. So Young Living has a whole Kid Sense line. And we'll talk about these as we like kind of go through some of these categories, but they are all diluted. So that like Sleepy Eyes, for example, it's pre-diluted. So there's coconut oil in here. And so they do the work of diluting it for you so that it's, you know, that it's safe to apply to your kids. Oh, and then there's tummy dries too, which is awesome. Okay. So the next category we'll talk about is immune system. And this is one of my, like, every mom needs these tools. When our kids first started like going to preschool and school and stuff, I feel like we never were able to catch a break. It was constant. Like somebody was always coming down with something. It would last forever and it would kind of coast into the next thing. And it was literally never ending. So when we started using oils, and I read something about somebody using like an immune support oil or immune booster or whatever you can call it, but it's Thieves, which is a blend of different oils. And Thieves is actually like a blend of oils that it was said to like be created when the plague was, and basically like these thieves would put this on to not get the plague, but to be able to go rob everybody. Thieves. Great story, right? So it's this blend of oils, but you can put it in a roller similar to this, and we would do 5 drops of Thieves, 5 drops of frankincense, which is a great oil for your body, and then 5 drops of lemon, which can be detoxifying for the body. And we roll this on not this obviously, but the Thieves roller, every single day. So bottoms of our feet and up our spines. The kids do it in bed every night. You can keep it this is called habit stacking. And this is a great thing to do with kids. Habit stacking is like finding a habit that you already do. So your kids probably brush their teeth every single night. So put the Thieves roller where the toothbrushes are so that while they're brushing their teeth, they can roll their oils on, or put it where, you know, if you're doing breakfast in the morning. For a while, we always, like before school, we would always roll our oils on while the kids were eating breakfast at the table. So just habit stack these things, keep them out and make it obvious and easy to remember, because otherwise if it's sitting in a drawer or, you know, in a box or somewhere tucked, you know, in a kid's like special box, God knows those are everywhere around here, it's not going to get used as much as it would if you are putting it in the place that's obvious and easy to use. So that is a really, really big one for immune support. Another thing is the kids' pre and probiotic powder that just came out. Or no, I'm sorry, the Unwind came out, which is another thing I didn't mention for sleep, which is awesome. That's a magnesium supplement that comes in like a pixie stick. But the Ferg's shaking her head. It's just all about it, girlfriend. So the pre and probiotic powder, it's called Mighty Pro. And it's like a pixie stick, and our kids take this every single day with like a D3 gummy. And it is so great for gut health. It's great if you have kids that are constipated or just like tummy aches or just need that like consistent gut support. It is a really, really, really good product. And it helps so much. There's a lot of stuff that starts in the gut. And so when you can kind of heal that and support it, it's a really, really good thing. Okay, let's see. Another thing for immune support is like seasonal allergies, lemon, lavender, and peppermint. If you're going to use peppermint with kids, I would use like maybe 1 or 2 drops, very small amount, just because peppermint is one of those oils that will feel hot to the touch. And a way to kind of like figure out like what's a hot oil, like how do I know if it's a hot oil? If it smells minty, it's probably a hot oil. If it smells like spicy or anything like that, you can always try it. Like it's not going to actually like you know, set you on fire. It's just like it's going to feel hot, like an icy hot sensation, which kids obviously like lose their mind over. So if you are worried about it, try it on yourself first, or dilute it, or just don't use it. You know, there's a lot of mix and matching with oils. And so if something does, you know, feel like it's hot, then you can switch to something else. So lemon, lavender, and peppermint is awesome for seasonal allergies. And then they have lots of like, there's kids supplements, like it's called Mighty Vites, which is just like a kids multivitamin. Young Living has an incredible supplement line that is really, really like diverse and so many good products. And then, okay, so I have written down here, and this is kind of random, but if you feel like in the fall, like your kids are getting, you know, a cold or just congested or cough or whatever it might be, there's some really, really good oils. They actually I'm not going to go dig for it, but Young Living just released a chest rub. It's amazing. It is so cool, you guys. And it has like an applicator on it. Thank you, Ferg. I see it up there. It is you guys, this stuff is legit, and it's like approved to fight like bronchitis and all of the things. It is, it has like the applicator, so you just squeeze it out and you can roll it directly on their chest. I have used it. It works amazing. So that's a great one. But then there's Sniffle Ease. So this is something that we have like 3 bottles of at a time, because I ran out of this once and literally was like, I will do anything to get a bottle of that right now. So Sniffle Ease is like a respiratory support oil for kids. And this oil is, first of all, it makes such a difference. So if you are nursing and have ever tried to nurse a stuffy baby, it's almost impossible. And so I literally, like last winter, I would take Sniffle Ease and I would just like dab it around, like not on your nipple, obviously, but like around the top of my breast before I nursed. And Memphis would breathe it in and it would clear her airways so quickly. And it was a game changer. I would diffuse this. This is an oil. If you have kids, like do not wait until somebody is sick. This is proactive versus reactive, right? Do not wait until somebody is sick to get this. Add this to your order and have this on hand so that when somebody starts sniffling, you can roll this over their sinuses, behind their ears. Makes a huge, huge, huge difference. Like probably one of my very favorite products. And then speaking of ears, another thing that it's really, really been a game changer for us. Ear infections are like in the fall. I feel like, you know, some kids get a ton of them, some kids don't, but Purification and lavender, I just put like 2 or 3 drops of each in the palm of my hand. And like kind of rub my hands together like this. And then I'll take like the kids' ears and just pull their ear out like this and pull down like under their jawline. You guys, we have avoided so many antibiotics and doctor's appointments by doing this. And it's like a consistent thing. You do it like, every hour while their ears are hurting or whatever. We use this all summer. Like I just used this last night to get water out of Bellamy's ears. It just clears things up so much. It helps a ton. So Purification and lavender is another like good little immune thing that will help if somebody's kind of under the weather. There's a lot in our Facebook group, which I believe you guys are all in. There is a post, I can't remember the name of it. I think if you search wellness in there, it's a card that I made to actually like tape it to the cabinet in our kitchen where all the oils are. But it has like, if somebody has a fever or if somebody has a cough or tummy, like nausea, all these things. And it kind of has like all of the hacks listed on there. So that's a great thing, like a resource to maybe print out or just save to your phone or whatever that will help in those times where you're like, oh crap, what the heck do I do? Okay, so that's immune support, sleep. Next, let's move on to emotion. So this is probably where we saw the biggest support with oils in our house. Our oldest is, so we have 4 girls and 1 boy. Our oldest is a boy, bless his little heart. And his name's Baylor. And he, since he was probably 4 or 5, has just been, in his words, not mine, sensitive. And just like a big thinker, a big feeler, and lots of like anxiety and emotions and all of the things, right? And somebody had posted about, it was called a butterfly roller. We've renamed it to the Mr. Worry roller. So when Baylor says like he's anxious, I have Mr. Worry in my tummy. And oils have given us such a tremendous way to support him and empower him. So we made him a Mr. Worry roller, and it actually is blue. This is obviously the same roller I've been showing you guys the whole time, but it is Valor, Stress Away, Orange, Bergamot, and Frankincense, I believe, are the 5 that were in it. Bergamot and Valor are like the big 2 that you want. But Bergamot, Valor, Orange, Frankincense, and Stress Away. I think that's the combo. Anyways, we made him this roller, and I like sat down with him and I was like, okay, this is your worry roller. Anytime you're feeling worried, you can roll this on your wrists and take a deep breath and say like, I'm okay, I'm in control. Affirming statements, like safe statements, anything that is for your kids. So whether it's like, like Jesus is with me, or whatever is going to work for you and your family. And we created these neural pathways, right? Like, so Valor is an oil that comes in the starter kit and is incredible for emotional support, anxiety, all of those things. And then Bergamot is also an anxiolytic oil. So obviously helps with all of that stuff as well. So just having these oils and like the chemical components of it, being able to support his body and his brain that way, but also using it emotionally, and kind of combining the two has been so powerful. So he will roll this on, and he brought it to school. He brought it to church. He brought it like anytime he was anywhere, he always had this nervous oil on him. He's gotten like, he doesn't use it as much as he's gotten a little bit older. And since we literally go nowhere anymore, sad day. But he would roll it on, and I would like random times, he would get in the car after school and be like, oh, Mom, I used my nervous oil today at the lunch table because the teacher, a teacher was yelling and it made me nervous. He's like, I even rolled it on some of my friends. And like, he was all about this, you guys. And it was life-changing for us because he had like debilitating anxiety to where I felt like he would go into his bed like at 5 years old and just kind of like lay in his bed and just feel like, worried about Lord knows what. I remember one time he's like, I'm worried that one day you're going to be a grandma. Like, okay. Like just anything and everything. The kid worried about it all. And so giving him this tool and allowing him to use this and have a tool to feel like, okay, I'm okay. Like I have some support. I have some control over my emotions, has really honestly been absolutely life-changing for us as a family and for him as a kid. The other, another emotional support oil that we use a ton is Peace and Calming, which comes if you got the premium starter kit. We call this our tantrum tamer. Rub this behind the ears if somebody is like losing their minds, and just having them take some deep breaths, and it just resets them. It is like a game changer, you guys. Peace and Calming is amazing. If you have really little ones, maybe like under the age of 5 or 6, I would probably make a roller and dilute Peace and Calming. But it's again, all about your comfort level. Another way that we use oils, White Angelica is an oil that's available if you're on Essential Rewards, and is I'll be straight up honest, I don't know exactly like all of the oils in White Angelica that make it so freaking powerful. If you go onto like Instagram or anywhere and like search about White Angelica, some of the testimonies are incredible. But we just had we've used this a lot for Winnie, who is our 3-year-old, who just kind of feels anxious all the time. And just, I'm making my kids sound like they're total head cases. They're not, they're just like normal kids, right? Like, but you guys, this was actually, so Winnie like has trouble just being like just calm the heck down. And, anyway, so White Angelica is like her go-to oil, and she calls it her blue oil. It's a blue bottle. But the other day we, for the first time in like the whole pandemic situation, had friends, or it was actually my husband's cousin. We had them come over for dinner, and she was so anxious because she hadn't been like exposed to people. Like we haven't really seen anybody, and it was like new people in our house. And she like sat in the shower and was like almost having like panic attack, like just like, I'm really shy. I'm really sensitive. I don't know who these people are. And she asked, like, can I have my blue oil? And she rubbed in our hands and took some deep breaths. And you guys, she came out and sat at the table. So powerful. Like these are things that we want to have on hand for our kids, and to be able to help them and give them the power to feel like they are, in charge. And as a mom, like there's no better peace than feeling like, oh my gosh, okay, yes, we did this. Like, okay, we made it through. Like we made it through another day, right? And then lastly, if you are like, taking your kids to daycare or school or going to work or whatever, we call this like the signature scent. Like have a scent that you put on and put it on your kids and rub it together. And when they smell this, we have a roller that says Miss and Mama, and they will basically feel like they're smelling you, which is kind of sweet. So that's another great way to support emotions. Okay, I'm going to jump into some of these questions before we go into mom hacks really quickly. What age did I start using rollers for kids? So when we first started using rollers, I probably waited until Nora was like 6 months. And then when Memphis was born, we were like legit those crunchy parents at the hospital that were like diffusing oils and like put oils on the crown of her head when she was born. So again, like it goes back to like, it goes back to comfort level and like how much of like a weirdo you're willing to be once you get like used to it. But since Memphis was born, we have rolled oils on her every single day. Honestly, like we put oils on for everything. And we started very small. So like for immune support for a very little baby, I would just do frankincense. I wouldn't use thieves. We probably didn't jump into thieves until like 4 or 5 months. And then it was like a couple drops of thieves. And then, now that she's over 1, we'll do like a roller with 5 drops of thieves in it, just on the bottom of her feet, and kind of go up from there. If you guys go into there's a Facebook group that's called Grapefruit and Gold Essential Oils, and that's part of our team. And if you search kids in there, there's some awesome kids classes like graphics and stuff like that, and it talks a lot more about like dilution, and like it has like specific ages if you feel like you need a guide, like and some people are kind of like fly by the seat of their pants, and some people feel like they need like a numerated guide basically, and it has stuff like that in there that is really helpful to just kind of use as a baseline. Okay, let me see if there's any. So Thieves Vitality is the same as Thieves. Yes, so all of the Vitality oils are the same product on the inside as the regular oils. Basically, they have a different label, and they're called Vitality because the FDA has said like, hey, we want to make sure that you understand like these oils are safe, and like the ones that don't have a Vitality oil are not. But again, it's the same product, so you can diffuse them and all of those things. Okay, so yes, Magic Mama and Co. is my Facebook group. Let me see. I think I can link it here. One second, you guys, so that you guys can click it because once the class goes away, you won't be able to click it, and you'll have to request to join. And I think you'll have to just put your member number in. And there's lots of stuff in there. Okay, let's move on to our last category, which is mom hacks, which is kind of fun, right? So really random things that I'm just going to shoot out at you guys that we've learned like over the years of using oils. The first one is if you have girls, or boys with man buns, whatever, and use those little elastic, hair bands, the clear ones, or even the brown ones, just the rubber ones, take a bottle of lemon and you just take one drop, on the hairband, and it will dissolve the plastic. And, it's so much easier than trying to get those things out of hair. It is like my all-time favorite thing ever. It's saved us a lot of tears in our house with 4 girls, right? So that is a huge one. Copaiba is an oil that used to come in the starter kit, and I'm sad it doesn't, because it is like a must have if you have teething babies. So Copaiba is a really, really gentle oil. It is safe to like put on gum. So I will take I'll put my finger out and take a drop of Copaiba and put it on my fingertip. And then I'll put my finger in Memphis's mouth and just rub it directly on her gums where her teeth are coming in. It's instant relief. And I only can tell you that because when I started doing Invisalign last year, my jaw was really sore. My teeth were really sore. And you guys, like seconds, I'm not even joking you. It is so much relief. It's seriously amazing. So Copaiba is a really, really good one to have on hand for teething babies, or, under their jaw or anything like that. Peppermint is another oil that is really great for kids with car sickness. And we didn't talk about this, but if your kids do get car sick, or if they get, just nauseous or tummy aches or whatever, peppermint can be really helpful in a diffuser. I don't put peppermint on my kids, but I do take Tummy Jize. So this is one of the Kid Sense oils as well. I will take Tummy Jize and roll that directly on. This is pre-diluted, right? So I will roll this directly, or just, drop it like directly on their belly. It is said that if your kids are constipated, to put it like in a counterclockwise motion, or vice versa, a clockwise motion. If they are like the opposite, if they've got the runs, Lord, I pray for you if they do, because that's the worst. Counterclockwise will so I don't know like the whole science behind that, but I've heard a lot of people say that that's kind of like the way to use it. But if your kids are just nauseous, a couple drops on their belly will make a huge difference. This is another one that is very quick to act and makes a really, really big difference. And then of course, if they're car sick, a really easy hack, you can get like car diffusers, but who has time for that business? Just take a cotton ball, put some 3 or 4 drops of peppermint oil on it, and stick it in the air vent and crank those babies up. And it's like a car diffuser. It's amazing. But helps a ton with car sickness as well. Let's see. So another thing that we use oils for a lot is we do we call it a mermaid spray, but it's basically no lice spray. I don't tell my kids that, because then they're gonna be like, bugs in my hair? What are you talking about? But tea tree oil is really, really helpful to keep things like that away, as well as rosemary and lavender. So we make a spray with those 3 oils. I add a little bit of salt in it for sea salt for texture in their hair, and then top it with water and a little splash of witch hazel. And we, if we're combing their hair, if we're styling it, if we're just leaving it down or whatever, I always spray that in their hair. And it's just a really great rosemary and lavender are also great for hair growth. Cedarwood is the other one we add to that. So cedarwood, rosemary, lavender, and tea tree oil, like 5 of each. And that is a great, great recipe for hair. And even for boys, like we use this when Baylor had longer hair, we would use this. It gives like their hair like a good texture. I have been asked many a times, like, what about like a gel for kids? I haven't found like a way to make hair gel, but spit does the trick sometimes. And then there's lots of DIY recipes, you guys, for kids. So especially right now, like people are looking for stuff to do with their kids. We have made Play-Doh, we have made bath bombs. I think was it you today that just made bath crayons with oils? So just go to Pinterest. Like this is where oils is really like, it's fun to have these things because you can make like things that smell good in your house, and it kind of gets your hands into DIYs. I am not like a crafty DIY mom in those ways. But we have made a lot of things. Like bath bombs is a really, really easy thing to make with kids, and they work, they're non-toxic, and the kids think it's like the coolest thing ever to make something that fizzes in the bath. Like it's just blows their mind. So Play-Doh is another really easy one to make. We have these recipes. If you search kids DIYs in the Facebook group, there's recipes for both of those things. And then lastly, skin support. So if you if your kids have eczema or just like, you know, rash or anything like that, oils can be really helpful with that. So we use a combination of, I believe this recipe is also in the Facebook group. We use a combination of shea butter, jojoba oil. Was it jojoba oil? And coconut oil, like the thick coconut oil. And then we add in Melrose, tea tree, and lavender oil, those three oils. And you basically whip it until it's like whip it good, right? It's like a whipped consistency body butter, and it is so amazing for skin. Yes. Hallie, is that the recipe that you use too? Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head the exact recipe, but I believe it's in.
I also add Gentle Baby because John likes the smell of Gentle Baby.
Yeah.
And I add oat flour because it makes it more like a cream.
Oh, okay.
I can add that on there. I make it all the time. It really helps.
Yeah, it's really good. So it's tea tree, Melrose, lavender, and then you were saying you had Gentle Baby. Those are the 4 oils. Do I have an oil for kids massage? Okay, so there is like the body butter is like, it gets oily enough to where you could totally use it for a back massage. But honestly, if you're doing something like that, like just take coconut oil. I'm trying to see if I have a bottle of it in here. Any carrier oil for that matter. So like this is V6. So this is Young Living's carrier oil. And so I would just take like a couple splashes of this in my hand. And then like if you're doing it before bed, I would take 2 or 3 drops of Sleepy Eyes and rub my hands together and just give them a back massage with that. We also add a lot of oils to the bath before bed, so that will make them like sleepier when they're breathing those oils in. So, and then there's Roman chamomile and German chamomile oil. I don't know which one you're looking for, but both of those exist. Okay, you guys. So overall, as we kind of close out, let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, one last thing before I do this. There is a baby line as well. If you have little babies, it's a line called Seedlings, and it has, there's wipes, there's diaper cream, which is a really, really good diaper cream. I've been through all of them. There is baby wash, there's a linen spray. Like they have a whole baby line called Seedlings, and it smells like an absolute dream. It smells so good. So gentle for little ones. I absolutely love it. So if you have teeny tiny ones, it also makes like a really great baby shower gift, all the things, right? So anyways, all of that to say, if you don't have the kit yet, think about it in the way of like, I'm going to do this for my kids. I'm going to invest in our wellness, not in our illness. I'm going to kind of, take this step to, protect them and to be their gatekeeper. And in the process, I promise you will fall in love with these products. They will become second nature in your home. You will default to them, and you will truly, truly, truly feel so empowered. And you will wonder why, if you have multiple kids, or if your kids are older or whatever, you're going to say like, why didn't I start this sooner? Why didn't we implement these sooner? Because it's going to change your life. I believe it so truly. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. I feel like I say this all the time, and I need to trademark it, but truly, you guys, especially with kids. You have nothing to lose, everything to gain. Okay. So I think that that is it. If you guys have any other questions, I am here for you. If you don't have oils and want to grab a kit, feel free to reach out. I would love to help you get set up. I just really, truly encourage you guys all to kind of take this leap, and it's going to be amazing. Any other questions before we jump off? Anybody? No? All right, friends. Thank you, guys. See you later.
Kendra.
Bye. Thank you.